I have to actually. I'm not wearing this. LOL.
Why not? It's cute.
No, because it's Eid, and I actually have something. I have like new clothes.
Oh, cute. Okay, I'm gonna look like a bum.
Well, I'm not wearing anything that special. It's just like a slutty sweater that I haven't had the opportunity to wear. So it's like technically new, but I bought it at a thrift store.
Nice, nice. Do it, do it.
The sweater's horrible. Whatever. I have it. It's
Oh,
mine.
I like it. I like it.
I don't like it. I'm like, put this on. I'm like, what? It looks like I'm like,
Do you have the
look,
phobia of small
I,
holes?
I look like I'm gonna like rule the capital of the Hunger Games.
Mm,
I'm like, give me
capital
your children, and I want to watch them fight.
It is giving President Snow. I can see that.
Yeah.
Do you have the phobia of holes? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Phobia?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Okay, because I don't either, but John does. It's so funny.
So this I
Anyway,
wear the sweater around John.
yeah, that'll drive him mad. How are you? How's your week?
To be honest, I keep realizing that I'm actually okay and everyone else is in crisis, and that's
Oh,
the problem.
yeah.
Like,
Helene keeps rubbing her face on the count on the laptop.
I think it's so funny that the episode about mental health is coming out on Eid.
Very approps. Also, today's Eid, Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak. I there's a part in the episode where I'm like crashing out, and you recommended I take it out, but I was listening to it again and I was like, honestly, no, this is how I feel. And I was like, I stand by this. I was like, there's nothing I said that I don't mean.
Okay, I can't remember what that clip was, but I'm excited to watch it and hear
But
it
you know
again.
what? I will say another thing is I'm starting to realize that I have a very niche experience. And that number one, being Palestinian is very niche. Number two, being gay is very niche. Number three, being gay in the way we are is also very niche. Number four, I'm also out and my parents are horrible about it. So that's also very niche. So it's just like I'm very unrelatable in a lot of ways. And sometimes that's why sometimes I get confused when people don't understand me. But I'm like, because not a lot of people are coming from my world.
Right.
And who gives a fuck? That's not my problem.
I agree. I agree. I fucking hate dogs. I'm
Oh,
not a fan. They're so slobbery and like,
not true. Some dogs are very demure.
really? But see, the thing is like you're walking them outside and they're gonna pee and step in their own pee. And also they're stepping on the floor outside, and then you're supposed to bring them into your home where they're gonna run into your bed.
You know, if cats bite you or scratch you, you can get severe infections. Like,
Right.
okay, let's not play the game of like,
If a human bites you, you can also get a severe infection and die. But I think cats are just cleaner. They
okay, whatever.
clean themselves.
Yeah, whatever. The Muslim that likes to get fucked in the ass says,
Cats are clean.
there you go.
I believe it.
Eating ass.
Way cleaner than dogs.
Honestly,
Dogs, I would that's like you walking barefoot outside and then walking into your apartment.
see, but then just wipe them after. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. And not all dogs do that. I feel like I don't see dogs constantly rolling in their shit and piss.
I remember one time a friend of mine was dog sitting in New York, so that she can come to New York and like stay at a place for free. And the dogs she was sitting, oh my God, the apartment smelled like nasty wet dog. They were two pugs, and poor thing, like the apartment was too small for those dogs, and you can tell they were unhappy. And like,
Did they shit and piss on a pad, like, somewhere inside?
I think there was a pee pad, but they would like obviously she would walk them and stuff, but still, like the whole thing, like it just really having a dog in a New York apartment is such a choice.
Yeah,
It's
true.
such a small space, and you're having an animal that requires like Halloumi literally is content staying in one place. My week is good. I had a dentist appointment the other day, and they told me I need to get a root canal.
Aw.
Have you had one of those done?
To be honest, I haven't been to a dentist in, like, 6 years.
Oh, wow, wow. You should. You should get cleaned, like I think you're supposed to get your teeth cleaned, like, professionally, like, twice a
Most
year.
of the world is not doing that, and, like,
That's true.
my teeth are very much fine and, like, in my mouth.
Yeah. Honestly, I think
And
it's genetic because my genetics are horrible. I am so prone to cavities every
growing up,
time.
I've never had a single cavity
Mashallah.
ever. I mean, I'd always get the thing like, "Aren't you flossing?" But I'm just like, whatever. Like, I do my best. Like, I floss here and there now. I brush my teeth every day, sometimes twice a day. Like, they don't hurt me. I don't have like abnormal sensitivity. Like, I'm gonna treat my teeth like the rest of my body. Like, if an issue pops up, I'll go to the dentist. But like, I don't go to the I'm not going to the doctor for regular checkups because doctors will be like, statistically, like, there's probably nothing wrong with you. You're just like, if you have an issue, you're worried. Well, like,
Right.
get over yourself.
I literally brush my teeth twice a day, floss every day, get my teeth cleaned 2 times a year, and I still get so many cavities. It is genetic, by the way. Like the enamel of your teeth and the bacteria, truly, like I have like dentists are my nightmare, but unfortunately, like this tooth has been killing me. And when it reaches the nerve, it's like everything hurts.
Yeah.
And now it's like such a big process. So he was like walking me through the steps because I've never had this done. Apparently, a specialist has to like dig all the way into the nerve, pull out the nerve, and then they have to create a crown and like cover the tooth. And apparently, it's going to be like a 3-day process. So 3 appointments.
Go see a different dentist. Get a second
No,
opinion.
but I'm sure this is what it is because, yeah,
Okay, but I've never heard of a root canal being 3 days.
because they have to. So basically, the crown of the tooth, they have to like create in a 3D lab and like fit it exactly to my tooth. And then
But this
that,
is very, like, I feel like they've been doing this procedure is not new. Why is it taking?
right,
I'm just saying, maybe just talk to a different dentist. Like, I don't
fair.
think this seems like intense for something that is very routine that I hear
It's
people get
not
done.
routine. It's not
Oh,
routine. I
a
think
root canal?
a root canal is actually like a major. I think filling a cavity is routine. I have many of those, and he said he'll work on them too. But a root canal, your cavity should never reach your nerve. But anyway, the whole point of me saying all this is he showed me how much I have to pay out of pocket, and it's $1,000 for the whole thing. And the reason why I asked other people who've had this done, and they're like, yeah, unfortunately. Even in Kuwait, I asked like my mom, I was like, is this what it's like? Because she had one done before. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was like 400 KD, which is fucking insane. It's for the stupid like tooth.
If you get your teeth cleaned that much, how is it getting to the fucking nerve? What's wrong? How
I'm
intensely
telling you,
how
it's my stupid ass oral flora. I think since John has also never had a cavity since he was like a child, and since we've been dating, he's had 2 cavities. So I really think it is a thing, like the biome of your mouth really is a thing. You know what I mean? Anyway,
damn.
just I'm just so annoyed by that. More annoyed by the pipe.
Guys, welcome to the Olive people.
Hi.
I'm Khalil and that's Ali.
Hello. Yeah.
Like my
He did prescribe me 2 weeks of Xanax though,
like pull out before.
so that I can like take it the day before and the day of for each visit. So I was like, hell yeah. Anyway, hello everyone. Okay, this is Khalil's episode, so I'm gonna let him take the helm.
We're okay. I think it's so funny because I think we're talking about how to deal with difficult people. Number one, I want to experiment with like different. I think we've been doing more general topics, but I'm like, why don't we answer questions? Like, I have advice to offer. Cause like low key, I'm thinking about doing something kind of crazy in the summer where I want to just like sit outside and have a sign that says free advice and then just like see who comes.
Mm.
But like, I don't know. I also don't like talking to weirdos. So we'll see. But I could also just offer advice on my podcast that I already have.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's a topic that interests me. And I think a lot of people would classify myself as a difficult person. I honestly also wouldn't disagree because I'm principled. I think
Principled.
like I think I have very strong principles, which makes me in some ways a lot not very flexible.
Mm. I agree with that.
Was that felt very like it was very pointed, like, I'm supposed
No, no,
to.
no. I agree. I think I can see how people would see you as a difficult person sometimes because of your inflexibility.
But the thing is, there's different types of difficulties.
Mm.
Like, I think I'm very clear in my mission. And I think that having principles also makes people not like you because I think when you point out that something like my principles are actually good principles. Like I don't have insane principles. So I think if I point out that something's wrong, then that like makes people feel guilt and shame.
Mm.
And then I think that gets reflected back onto me. And I think rather than me actually being a difficult person, it's just like you just dislike me.
But see, what if you have principles, but you don't necessarily impose them on other people? Like, let's say, for example, you disagree with someone, instead of telling them, you just kind of go like, okay, whatever. Like, it's not your business type of thing.
I think the problem is you start discovering people's principles when you're in a relationship. So there's an effort to like be like, hey, I know you. You're not actually a person who has this principle, but like your actions are not in line with that. And, you know, and let's move forward. Because then otherwise, I don't know, I can't move forward.
What's an example of that? Like, give me an example of that.
I think the easiest way is like dating apps, for example. Like on Hinge, I was talking to a guy. We had a great chat, blah blah blah. Both agreed to go on a date. It was kind of slow responses because he's like a dancer and was like currently performing like in performance time. So I'd hear back like every 2 3 days, whatever. And then we're trying to plan this date. I follow up, and then I was like, my, like, follow-up message was like, "Hey," I put a playful emoji to this, by the way. I was like, "Hey, let me know when you're free or just unmatch me at this point because, like, the in between is
See,
too much."
see, look.
Wait, I'm gonna finish.
Okay.
Because the thing is, I'm not here to be, like, a pen pal. Do you know what I mean? Like, we already had conversation. At that point, it had already been, like, 5 days. Like, I'm kind of like, "Okay, we both agreed out to do this thing. If you don't have time to get a coffee, then this is probably not gonna be a match, and I'm just gonna unmatch you because I'm looking for someone who has some amount of time." Right? So, to me, it's just being like, "Hey, do our values align or not?" And then he responded with, like, "Hey, that was crazy. That was a crazy message, but, like, fair." Um, saying something about being busy. And then I was like, "I don't think it's crazy, I think it's pushy, but again, I'm here for it." You're shaking your head. "I'm here for an agenda." Blah, 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 and then we exchanged Instagram like, we had another, like, nice conversation, we exchanged Instagrams, and then after we exchanged Instagrams, he's like, "Hey, I think based on your social media, like, um, we would just be better as friends."
Oh,
And I
that's
was
weird.
like, that's where exactly, and
That's
that
weird.
I responded with, I was like, "Hmm, like, that was a really weird thing to say, and I think you're a dishonest person
Yeah,
because
this
number
weird.
1, I can't even get you to meet up with a coffee. Number 2, you're being like, 'Let's be friends,' but then based off my social media, something, like, turned you off.
That's
And then number 3, I'm like, if you looked at my social media, like, as a Palestinian right now, like, I'm like, what am I thinking? Like, I'm like, are you a racist person? Like, do you like, what like, my pictures on Hinge are from my social media, so it's not necessarily a physical thing. And then he actually referenced the podcast, but then I was also like, "Okay, there's no way you watched a full hour of that, like, you probably saw, like, 5 minutes of something," so I was just like in my mind, I think he thought I was, like, more muscle daddy and then saw the podcast, heard me speak whatever, like, more cadences, and was like, "Oh, this doesn't, like, line up with my fantasy," and was
mm,
like, "Okay, there's no point." But, like, that's just I could be wrong, but, like, I'm just, like, presupposing a lot of things. Anyway, my point is a lot of men aren't shit, and, like, people who I wanna hang out with are the people who respond to, like, me being like, "Hey, I wanna get to know you, let's hang out," and they don't respond in, like, a dumb way. So to me, it's kind of like a sifter thing, like, I don't really feel bad about having a fallout with some random person who already it's like there were so many other red flags. Do you know what I mean? Like, it ended up being like no harm, no foul.
I totally get you. So I have a few points. I'm gonna backtrack to the initial message where you said, so are we hanging out or not? Something like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you from his perspective how he can perceive that. He like there's a way to put it where you can still put your message across of like, hey, by the way, like I want to be upfront and let you know, like, I'm not trying to waste time. Are you actually available to meet up? Or are you just on the apps casually? You know, like, there's a better way to frame it that doesn't feel like you're coming. Go ahead.
I don't care about respectability
But
politics.
then see, so many people, I'll tell you, 99% of people don't like feeling attacked. Go.
99% of people are dumb racists.
Then, Khalil, like, I'm trying to tell you, like, in life, you're not going to get what you want if you do what you want all the time. Like, there's gonna be moments where you're gonna have to think strategically about how you approach people.
I understand negotiation,
Okay.
but, like, off the jump off, if someone's not the spontaneous kind of like, "Yes, let's do this," like, "I can take this kinda thing," off the jump, we're never gonna make it. We're
See,
never gonna make it anywhere. Wait, 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 because there are people who do respond well and things like, I know when the time is, and, like, I could reflect on past dates, whatever, when I could have been, like, softer, and that's a learning process, or, like, more flexible, I should say, but I'm not on off an initial Hinge match, that's crazy.
if okay, let's say the roles were reversed, and I want you to be honest. If somebody hits you with a direct thing of what's going on? Like, like it came at you like that. Are you not gonna also want to be defensive back?
No. The thing is with me, I mean, I guess you can call me a liar or not. We either will hang out or I will block you on everything.
Mm,
So, like, you will get the clear message of, like, you will be in my life and we will try or not at all. Do you know what I mean? And there also is room for gray. Like, I've met up with people and we're just like, "Oh, yeah, you're cool," but, like, we just don't click. Like, when I go to the gay village here, there's tons of people where it's like, "Oh, hey," like, "Hey, girl," like, we like each other's Instagram stories sometimes, maybe we reply, like,
mm,
we have a conversation, we see each other out. Like, I have those relationships with, like, semi whatevers, like, we just haven't gotten to know each other yet. Like, I don't know what it is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then there's also just the people you just don't fuck with.
Right, right. I think then moving on to the next part where like he followed you on Instagram and then there was an issue there. I do agree with you. I think he's not being fully honest about the reason. The
I don't
reason,
need to know the reason. I thought saying the reason was stupid.
no, I agree. I think there's no way we can guess the reason. Like that's my point is that you think it's maybe because he saw a video and was like, this isn't what I was expecting. It can literally be anything. And I guess that is annoying when it's
Well,
like,
I didn't ask for it. I'm never a person to ask why because it's frankly none of my business. But if you tell me because of your social media, I'm gonna be like, "Well, what the fuck's wrong with my social media, bitch?
right.
Like,
I
what?
would
You need
just be like, "Oh,
take the
can you,
car
like,
for
let
it?"
me know? Can you let me know?"
Uh,
Like, I would be somebody that would be like, "Can you let me know, like, what exactly was it that bothered you? Like, no biggie, I just wanna know." I don't think his reason was right. I don't think that was the real reason. I think he's sugarcoating whatever it is he actually saw that he didn't like, that he maybe thinks you didn't want to hear.
but the thing is, keep it to yourself in the first place, and that's why I
Right.
don't try because, again, I don't want to hear especially my Instagram, because my Instagram is mine. Like, I have already verified and proved. I go through it every day looking at myself like, "Oh my god, I'm so amazing
So that
and funny."
so then would you
So
have
I don't need someone else to critique it because I didn't ask for that. If I wanted that, I would ask for it.
So then would you have preferred, although I've heard conflict, okay, wait. So would you have preferred him say, "I think we should just be
Do
friends,
what I
period"?
do. Okay, if any man out there, if you match with me on a dating app and you do not wanna end up going on a date, unmatch me from everything.
But what if they wanna be friends? Like, genuine.
Then meet up with me first, because here's the thing, what pisses me off is someone I think you're stupid if you see me on a dating app and you're like, "Okay, this is a person I could be romantically interested with." I look at this picture of this person, and this is how guys probably think, most guys. I would probably fuck this person. Fine. That's all the information I really need personally. Then, like, there's a whole other dimension of existing, which is let's meet up in person. I'm not gonna assault you instantly. Like,
Mm.
we could have a conversation, vibe it out, And I've had that time where you think you're gonna fuck with somebody, and then you go hang out on a date, and they're like, no, and it ends perfectly fine, and we can have like a amicable thing. But to me, I think it's stupid when someone is kind of just like imposing these limitations when they don't even know me. Like if
Right.
you have just seen me on Tinder, if you have just seen me on Instagram, even if you have watched every single episode of this podcast, you don't know me because you have never been with me in a room. And I think you don't know a person until you've like actually sat with them.
I
You
agree
can
with you on that.
make
Yeah.
guesses, right? But like you could always be surprised.
I
The
agree.
thing is, and I understand at that point if you've made a decision, blah, 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 but don't tell me. Keep it to your fucking self. And then when you see me in person, in your mind, if that's, confirmed, then you just can say that. But you don't have to say, oh, I knew it from your, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
people don't think I have social tact. Like, a lot of people don't have social tact. I think
right.
my way is much more strategic in terms of like actually dating. But we're talking also about not necessarily dating, about how to deal with difficult
Mm,
people.
okay. I
This is the mind of a difficult person.
A beautiful, wonderful, difficult person. Mm,
Sure.
okay. I see what you're saying. It's just, yeah, I have so many thoughts, but I would want to let's continue on to the next point so that we can.
No, I want to hear your
Okay. I guess I'm just trying to think how I would deal with this situation. On both sides. Like if I was him and I wasn't feeling it versus if I was you and I was annoyed. Because I've been in situations where I've made a fool of myself, like reaching out to people and being like completely like insisting over and over again when I wasn't taking the hints that they weren't interested.
Nope, this was no, but I'm no, I can take a hint. No, 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 no. This isn't like me sliding into the DMs. We matched on Hinge, right? That is consent already to like, like I don't know if I've fucking taken crazy pills, but like people have seemed to lost the plot as to why they are on dating apps. If you want to look for fucking friends, put that in your profile. If you want a fucking friend, go on Bumble BFF. If you want to fucking suck a dick, go on Grinder or be on Sniffies. I do all of those fucking things. Hinge is a very specific app that takes
Right,
time
right.
to fill out. I look at people's profiles. Like I'm not
Like you're
like
actually you're
I'm a very
actually
I'm a very observant, careful person. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So the thing is, I it's very easy for me to catch someone when they're being like slightly disingenuous,
Mm.
and I prey on that.
I see. I know what you're saying. Okay, my other point about this interaction is him telling you, I think we'll be better off as friends because of your Instagram profile and that bothering you. What was your response to that to him?
It was just like you're not a trustworthy person. Because the other thing is too, I will say, when someone says, "Hey, let's be friends," if you don't follow it up with, "Let's do such and such on
Okay.
such and such
I
time,"
agree. I
I'm
agree.
just like, your words of affirmation mean shit all to me. I can call a suicide hotline and have someone tell me the
That
same
is
thing.
very
You know what
true.
I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck if someone says nice words to me. It's like, people praise me all the time, that's fine. I know where to get praise. I know how to get praise. Like, it's so I mean, supply demand. The supply is so high, it means very little to me.
You know what it is, Khalil? I think you call out what we all know. In the sense, like in that interaction, I would have probably been like, okay, I guess he doesn't like me, and then just never didn't respond. Like I would have just like ghosted or like stopped talking to this person.
You should have just unmatched
But
me.
yeah, you called it out. You were like, this is fucked up and you're not trustworthy. Like I literally would never say that to someone, but you're right. Like that is what that is. I would just let it go. Like I would just not because then what's his response gonna be? Like as in it's gonna enter
I
me
know,
into a
but like maybe
conversation I don't want.
I
You know
know,
what I
like,
mean?
in my weird way, I'm like, he could maybe reflect on that and potentially stop being fucking crazy, but it's
Right,
not for my benefit. It's
right.
just like I think people need experiences. I think people need people to freak out on them, so then, like, later down the line, they think about it. Because if I think about experiences that I've had, it's like sometimes it has to marinate for years, and sometimes a couple of things have to happen to
I
a
agree.
couple times for it to, like, sink in. So it's like, I'll be part of that journey for you. Like, I have the time. I'm bored.
I fully agree with you on the idea that like confronted with situations we feel are difficult, like confrontation, sometimes they're helpful because they help us reflect on what we said and what we could have said and what we should have said and what we were thinking. Because like respectability politics of always like trying to make everyone feel comfortable isn't always right, especially if you feel uncomfortable by something someone else did. I think it's good to call that out.
And that's the thing. People don't like because most people when they're uncomfortable, they're a little bit they turn inward. I don't wanna say cowards, but, like, to me, it's cowardice. For me, I'm very much like, "No, like, I need to make this right." Because also the thing is, I say that I've said this before, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but I have quite literally, in my own world, have sacrificed, like, everything to exist as I am. So, like, I don't really accept a lot that is not something that I want because it's like I could have lied to my dad when he asked me if I was gay and my life could have been entirely different. Like I would be a fucking heiress in Winnipeg with like, family business to take over. But, I made a choice. So, I like the thing is it's like I'm like slowly like I'm curating the perfect existence.
Mhm,
So it's like if you're not part of that, if
mhm.
you can't work with that,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
la-
You live your life the way you see fit. I am sure a lot of people find that intimidating, but those are not probably the people you want in your life anyway.
Like, yeah, no, like, I mean, today I was texting Eid Mubarak and I had, like, so many people that I, like, wanted to send that to, so it was, like, kind of nice.
That is
And
nice.
that's just, like, the Muslim people in my life. I didn't send it to
Yeah.
non-Muslims.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Nor should we. I feel like actually, John, your mom just texted me, I think, saying, "Hey, Mubarak, that's so sweet." Anyway, I'll respond to her in a bit, but yeah. Um, yeah, anyway, that was a good point. Like you did make good points there, and I do agree.
Do we call them out, ignore, or match people's energy? I guess well, okay, when okay, this is dealing with an actual difficult person though. How do you deal with a difficult person who's like they don't have a clear objective? They're very much like a toddler in terms of like they don't want anything to happen. It's
Yeah.
like they want A, but to get A, B must happen, but they're like, I don't want B
I have
either.
I have a fucking perfect example. Okay, buckle up.
I'm
So when I was in my previous job, my senior, so somebody who like I worked under basically, she was a lesbian. This is important to the story. And that's not important to the story. But she was very needy and kind of didn't see like let's say for example, we had plans to hang out. I'll tell or not even plans to hang out. She'll message me and be like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" And I'll say no. She'll be like, "Why not?" I'll be like, "I'm just kind of feeling like a lazy day, like just want to watch TV." She's like, "Oh, well, I can come over and watch TV with you." And I'm like, "Oh no, I kind of just wanted to hang out by myself." And then she'd see that as me saying, "You're not good enough. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't like you, blah, blah, blah." You get what I'm saying? Like the type of insecurity where it's like, you're trying to make everything about you. This has nothing to do with you. Your insistence is making me not like you, but like you're not seeing that I'm just trying to vibe by myself. You get what I'm saying? Like somebody who's very aggressively like not seeing that things are happening outside of your world that aren't related to you. Like me doing something or not wanting to do something is because I'm an introvert. It's not because I don't want to hang out with you. I just don't want to. Period. And so our friendship, I kind of did the bad thing where I didn't confront the problem for many, many months. And then we were at a house party one day and she got drunk and I was sitting down and she kept trying to sit on my lap. And I kept being like, no, like I'm good. And she'd like go like walk around and try again. And I'd be like, I'm good. Like, I don't want you sitting on my lap. And she kind of was like, why? Like, don't be weird. I'm just like trying, like I can see in her mind her insecurity of like, he doesn't want me to do this. So I want to do it. Go ahead.
there's like thing where it's like the guys that are like, where my hug at? But this is the female version.
Yeah. I'm like, and then I literally started yelling at her at this party in front of everyone, being like, I said stop. Like, no means no. You don't get to do this just because you're a woman. Like, I don't want you sitting on my lap. And she started crying and made it all about her. Like, oh my God, the rejection, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she didn't learn her lesson, by the way. She fully thinks I overreacted. And she literally the next day was like, it's probably a cultural thing. I'm
I
like,
think it actually could be.
no, it fucking isn't, Khalil. If there's somebody invading your space constantly, and you're no, like just be respectful. Like I'm telling you what I want, and you're not listening to me. Go ahead.
As a fellow Middle Easterner, I'm like you, like, I don't like being touched, don't fucking touch me, like, keep 6 feet, especially if I don't like
But
you, it's
see,
even if I like you wait, can I finish?
yeah,
But, like, in places like China, for example, they're, like, used to being very compact and, like, stuck together, and I think in Latin America, like, those bitches, they grow up being naked around their families.
that's
Like,
fair.
they go in the streets and make out with each other, like, I'm not saying that's bad,
Girl,
but I just feel like that.
that's fair, but if I said multiple times, "Don't do
Yes.
that," respect it even if you don't understand it. That's the problem. She didn't respect anything she didn't understand.
Yeah.
That is
She was
exactly the
using
problem.
culture to hide behind her being creepy.
Re Using culture to hide behind the fact that she's needy and insecure and, like,
And that's
want
not
to
creepy.
and creepy. Like, you're wanting validation and you're wanting to feel like I like really like you as a friend, but I can show it in my way. I don't have to show it in the way you know what I mean? Like you have
Yeah.
to learn the way that I like to show that we're friends. Look at how I treat my other friends. I'm not like hugging and kissing them. I'm not like sitting on so then why is it, like it's just that kind of person. Now I learned to just when we're the question is how do we deal with that kind of difficult person?
Well, you know what? I've seen you in a techno mosh pit.
I
You're
get down. I can party, I can dance, but even in those situations, ask John, ask anyone, I'm like, stay away from me. I'm dancing, I'm listening to the music. I don't want anyone to touch me. Like truly, even in those spaces, I'm fully like locked into the music. Like I have a friend, a good friend, I love him very much, who initially was very lovey-dovey touchy. And at some point I told him, I'm like, listen, I don't like dancing with my friends like that. And from then on, that's it. It was so easy. That's a good way to respond to that situation. And that's how I know I can continue to be friends with you. But if you react like that girl, where you make it all about yourself, instead of seeing that it's about me, then bye. But you have to cut them out. Because if they don't see it once, twice, three times, they're never going to see it. So cut
No,
them out. I think
no,
that's,
I mean, consent is like someone who doesn't know consent. I think people who are difficult, who don't understand, need to learn through like the severing of relationships.
yes. Yes.
But the thing is, if they have a network of people who kind of accept that behavior and kind of coddle them when someone does do that to them, it's really difficult for someone to learn.
Yeah. And also, I think when you're so insecure in your own self, you see that kind of feedback as criticism. As in, like me telling her, I don't want you sitting on my lap, instead of her seeing it as like, okay, she saw it as, am I not good enough? Am I not like, like that kind of thing where it's like, ew,
Yeah.
God, I hope she
Get
watches
yourself
this.
together. I hope
Because I literally burned that bridge. Like, we obviously like are in the same circles because of our job. Sometimes I'm in places where I know she's there and we both avoid each other fully. I'm like, good. I never want to see her face.
What's the difference between setting boundaries and being petty?
Oh,
I have a story. I have a
yeah,
true
give me your story.
in New York, I went to New York with my ex-bestie, and there was a what is like a GB whatever, some orgy party.
Mhm.
And I wanted to go, and my friend wanted to go, and my friend was in the, like, "We cannot both go." And I was like, "Why not? Like, I'm not trying to hook up with you, like, we could just, have territory or whatever,
Yeah.
like, make a agreement." Because anyway, so he was like, "No," and then I was like, "I'm going, and, like, then you cannot go if that's a problem for you because, like, I wanna go to this thing." And, like, he had such a fucking tantrum. So I was just like, "You know what? Fine, like, just go, like, you can go, I don't need to go, like, I'm not gonna fight that hard for an orgy."
Oh my God, that's actually so strange. Like,
He was so petty.
that's so unfair. Like, he's saying, I want to have this fun experience, but I, like, because I
See,
feel,
that's not a boundary. That's being petty.
I think so. No, I don't think that's petty. I think that's him being selfish. Like it's selfish of him to want that experience, but then exclude you out of it.
That's he's a Libra, so Libra bitches,
Mm.
you are known to be selfish.
John really isn't. That's so interesting. Oh my God, that's so bad. That is a friend to cut out. Like somebody who is only looking out for themselves and like does it like you're traveling together, right? Like to New York? That's unfair.
The thing is, I think he has started going through really hard times, and then the selfishness became worse. Because we had other trips before where it was never that bad. Like that's what I'm saying. In Amsterdam, we had been in a dark room separately, but like at the same time. So I was just confused at like, why are you like
Ooh.
so freaked out?
Oh,
It's not going to be that bright in here.
that's so interesting. I guess the thing is that if you're traveling with a friend and you feel uncomfortable about going to an orgy with them, then just
Yeah,
don't go to the orgy. Do other things.
that's
As
what
in,
I
like,
mean.
you're
It's that.
traveling with the friend. Like,
I think what makes it worse too is he had already been to it the night before.
that makes it so much worse.
I tried to fight for it, but it's like I'm not gonna have a screaming match and like see the thing is I am strategic. Like I was just like I fought for it a little bit, but I was like we had some traveling left to do, so I was like
Yeah.
whatever. Like
See,
I just go out there.
I would have also been strategic in the sense where I'm like, okay, whatever, like I'm not gonna die on this hill. But then after this trip, our friendship is gonna go down a level. Like we're not
It
gonna be
did.
the same level of friends. No
It
way.
did not end up recovering.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the difference between being petty versus like setting actual boundaries is if your boundaries extend to the actions of someone else, like you're being petty. Like, you
Yeah.
can't I really try to follow that philosophy. You can't make anyone do anything they don't wanna do.
Right. And I think pettiness also stems from not liking someone. Like I'm trying to think of what pettiness entails. Why
I
would
think it
you?
also comes from selfishness because I do think this friend liked me
Mm.
or likes me, whatever, but I think they were just very selfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe, like, at that time, maybe they needed it. They were going through a kinda fucked up time.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
I'll have to
trying
cut this part out, but their mom is literally like
to. I don't know why I'm laughing.
well, because it's like now it kinda makes sense why somebody would act like crazy being like, "I
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
that."
Yeah. Yeah.
Also I also like, October 7th had happened, so
Right.
I was like, "I need this."
We all need it. We all are going through our own shit. Like,
It's I know, but, like, I get it. I
no.
can say I get it, but I also don't get it because they've never had that experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't get it.
It's not a race to the bottom, like,
Right.
having your mom and a
Right.
genocide is,
Right.
like,
And kind of like,
one is really worse for, like, the world than the other, but, like, personally, like, from a personal narrative standpoint, I totally being like, "Who gives a fuck?"
right. And you describing in the beginning, talking about the nicheness of your experience, I do think everyone is niche in a certain way. And I do think people have different strengths of handling their niche experiences. Like, for example, you might be better equipped to handle your experience than someone else if given the same.
But we're not all niche though. Like, okay, if you're straight and you're white, you have a lot of the same problems as a lot of the other straight white people around you. Like,
Right.
you're probably fat, ugly, and you haven't fulfilled your dreams. Like,
Right,
go
right,
talk to
right.
somebody else
And you
about that.
want kids and you want a house
Whatever.
and you
Or
want.
maybe you have kids and your kid's a crackhead. Like,
Right. Right. That's
there's
my
lots of them out
nightmare.
here.
Having a kid and having them turn out to be like addicted to something scares the shit out of me. But anyway, we're tangents. This is a tangent. Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay, so
Honestly, okay, fine.
boundaries. No, because there's a lot to cover, and I want to talk more about because there was something you mentioned in your notes about is it fun? Is it ever fun to like argue or fight with someone who is like difficult? And I really, 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 really don't like to me it's not. It's like let me just see where it was.
Oh, I really understand that. Yeah, are some types of difficult
Cool
people
people fun to fight with. No, no, no. Fighting with people, and I think you're the same way. really takes a lot out of me. Like, it really exhausts me and makes me like, I don't want to feel that kind of emotion all the time. I really don't. And I think you're the same because the few times we fought, I can tell, like, your energy, like
The thing is we've actually fought.
yeah.
People think me fighting them is me talking to them like this.
No, we
But,
yell.
like, we had a screen recording of oh my god. Yeah, no, that's, like, actually fighting, like, out for blood, like
Yeah. Like, it's not
I
fun. It's not
as violent as you can get with words before literally, like, hitting each other is,
yeah,
like, to me what fighting is, and
yeah,
yeah, you're right, it's not fun.
it's not
I like deb I like debating I like being like Dennis the Menace, like, little shit, like, kinda, like,
mm.
more playful jabs.
Yes, yes. I think
Like,
that's enjoyable. I think it's enjoyable to do
there's fighting, and there's play fighting, and I think both go with words.
right.
And in play fighting too, sometimes people accidentally get hurt, and it's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to hit you," like,
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. 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 What about you? What do you feel like there's a difference between somebody who's difficult and somebody who's evil?
It's hard to tell. I haven't met somebody who's, like, evil. Uh, I'm, like, thinking of people who are evil, but you can always kinda understand that they have, like, a story, you know? So are
Mm,
they evil? This is why I don't believe in religion. It's, like, so hard to, like, see how people are completely, like, garbage, garbage, garbage. Like, I mean,
right.
some actions are irredeemable, like, you should be shot, but it's, like, I'm not gonna shoot you in the back of head thinking, like, I'm killing the scum of the earth.
Right. Like, you're talking about the Islamic stories of, like, Quraysh and, like, all the like, I'm thinking of all the people who used to, like, worship the, like, idols. They used to describe them in, like, my religion class as, like, evil, the pits of the earth. These dumb people that don't know how to read and write, and they're horrible. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, they probably were just living their life. Like, they weren't
It's like, what
thinking
happened to, like, all being, like, God's children? Like, Jesus
right,
Christ.
right. I agree. I'm like, there's a part of it where I'm like, just let them be. They didn't know any better. Like, for example, if you really think that this form of religion is right, give them grace. Like, not everyone, it's like, yeah, I feel like it's ungraceful to assume somebody's evil.
That's what I mean, that's any form of insecurity. It's like, if we're doing the same things and I have to kill you in order for my thing to be the best thing, it's like, clearly I just thought you could outcompete me.
Right,
Like, I don't know what other way there is to get around that. Like, in the end, if you really believe in Allah, like, we'll all see. And that's what I mean. It's like, why be mean to someone when in the end we're gonna all find out?
right.
So, like, still, that like, we had this issue kind of on our own podcast with difficult people, when we posted that clip about, being in the masjid, which I knew would get some Islamic rage bait. And, like, we did get some issues, like, and I tried talking to these people being like, if literally people are being bombed in tents right now, and these people claim to be also living in the Middle East, I'm like, you literally have bigger fish to fry than, like, sitting on your phone, like,
Right.
saying you wanna do horrible things to me. And they literally just kind of admitted that they were, like, bored and, like, alone, and was oh, that's so sad, like,
That
I
that is so sad. There's a version of person who has not dealt with their own feelings or even trauma, where they like taking it out on other people to make themselves feel better. So he probably and that's most people I know. Like, most people back home who, like, hate other religions, who think gay people should die, who blah, blah, blah. It all stems from the fact it makes them feel better to think that you're less than them. To be like, "I'm better than you." And instead of you know what I mean? Instead of coming at it from a human way and being
well,
like,
just
"We're the
like
same."
that, like, I think people are difficult because even with my own friends, like, when they had, like, for instance, I had a friend whose cat passed away, like, I wish people were better at bringing people in when they're feeling down rather than isolating themselves, and, like, people do that, like, also, it's just like there people wanna feel so isolated by either being mean to somebody or, like, withdrawing
Yeah,
rather than, like, being like, "Oh, we're all kind of garbage together." Like, there's much
right,
more poor people living in horrible conditions than, people living like us.
right,
Or, like, I mean, even people, like, living like us, like, there's very few Kim K's and Elon Musks, like, there's so much more relatability to be had than, um judgment and issues, but also, like, people don't wanna give they don't wanna devote the time or energy, so then it's like, if you're not gonna devote the time and energy, then, like, go fuck yourself.
That's the thing, time and energy, but I also think it's like a concentration thing. Like you have to actively do it every time. Like everything you do, you have to be very understanding that someone else's circumstance means nothing to you. Like your life is your life is their life. You're all living in the same space. Just chill, like don't make it all about you. I think people make it all about themselves and forget. Like they think the person in front of them is an NPC when like no, they actually have the whole universe that you don't know about. You know what I mean?
And this is where capitalism comes in because it has separated us from, like, making our lives more intertwined. Like, we would give a shit about the baker who's sick down the street if it was, like, the main local bakery, right? We're like,
Right.
"Oh, where's, Bilal, the baker?"
Right. How are his kids? Oh my God. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We watched the documentary No Other Lands, the one that won the Oscar, whatever. And in it, they showed like scenes of the village and how they're so interconnected. And I was like, damn, that is so nice. Like, that is really nice that they all know each other. When one person's house is demolished, they all work together to rebuild at night. And the women will start building in the morning because the soldiers are less likely to fuck with them. And then at night, the men will. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's such a beautiful example of people just coming together and yeah, just understanding each other's pain because they're all going through it. They all know what it's like. So immediately they know what has to be done.
And Allah is sufficient.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In their minds as well. That's probably how they feel.
But that's another thing I think that makes people difficult is a sense of entitlement.
Mm. Yeah. Feeling like they're owed something just by existing without
Do you think what do you think people are owed?
water, healthcare, shelter, education.
I'll add to that entertainment.
Okay. Right. But I feel like by getting those things, automatically entertainment comes too. Do you know what I mean?
And you think it should be like, 'cause in every situation, let's say, okay, I love doing this experiment where, like, the world just becomes, like we're, like, back to living in a tribe.
Mm,
Like, I feel like leaders will emerge and kind of dictate how time is spent.
mm,
So I think there should be conscious effort to, like, be, like to allow to rather than, like, people having to, like, scurry around a dictator to have their fun, like, be, like, open and, like, actually be, like, designate, fun time in the village. Like, "Okay,
absolutely.
now we're, like, getting together and everyone has to sign up for the talent show." That's what I would do
Absolutely.
if, like, Meteor 2.0 happens and I somehow survive and I gather a group of people and then I have them under my command. We're having, like, talent shows on Fridays.
Absolutely. Going back to the dentist, you get to pick like a video to watch, and I picked Animal Planet. And the video that was playing was like monkeys and how they socialize in their herds. And they do that where like they're like working, but at the same time, they might stop and like start picking at each other's bugs and just chattering, like talking. And like that is so like that is such a vibe. Like you're actively like your whole day is just like gathering food and then also like vibing with the people you're with, and everyone's doing something. And I think that's the thing. Everyone has to start doing something. The problem is when selfishness creeps in and one person starts doing less and benefiting off of everyone else's work. And then I think that's how all that negativity is introduced when one person isn't contributing their part. And I feel like that throws things off. What would you do to that one person if you were the leader in your overseer situation? If like you're noticing someone is not doing what everyone else is doing and they're not like, are you gonna accept that and allow it? You're just like, oh, he's just like the bum, whatever.
I think okay, so this is gonna come from, like, okay, we tried to find out why, blah, 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 and I think ultimately, if it comes down to this is kind of where it gets a little dark, where I think ultimately you might have to banish them.
I'd do the same. I think
Like, okay, you have to go find another place where you feel more comfortable and your values aligned and you feel more, like, energy to engage because maybe you're feeling lazy because you don't like any of us. And if you don't like any of us, just leave.
Right. I do think that is important to do because if you leave a parasite, well, we're getting really because if you leave someone like that, it will eventually creep into everyone else's lives where everyone else feels the burden. And yeah, everyone has to have their place. Like,
And that's literally how that's how wars started.
yeah,
That's what happened. It started off as a little summer camp, and then everything was going good, and then some bitch got lazy, and then there's issues, and now there's problems.
yeah. And or like infidelity or like some kind of yeah,
No, but those things can be solved and worked through.
yeah. But like what if somebody, for example, steals or like took someone else's thing or like harmed
Stealing would
someone.
not be a thing because it's like if we're like living off of things that are just like made from around us, it's like all abundant,
Right, that's true. Ah, that would be
right? How could you steal if there's no private property?
no, you're right, you're right. Wow, that would be nice. Okay,
It could be, but I think it's too late. We lost all the skills. We're done.
I agree. I wouldn't know.
Pack it up.
I'd probably die from the first berry I eat if I lived in the wild.
Genuinely, I think I would just kill myself. I don't think I would try. I don't wanna suffer.
Yeah, same here.
Anyway, that's kinda funny, right, guys? About types of difficult people. There's people who complain all the time,
Oh, yeah.
know-it-all, fake nice person, and the person who brings drama. Does that trigger anything in you?
I think, for me, difficult people, I can as long as if I can figure out what is the source of their difficultness, like, what is their ish damage, I think I
Mhm.
can relate to them more. It's when I like, there's a difficult person at my work who isn't difficult for the reason you think. He's just a straight man and has straight thoughts and straight conversations, and to me, that's difficult. Like, I literally don't relate to you, I don't wanna talk to you, and I don't understand where you're coming from because your problems all seem so pathetic. Like, he picked to stay in his current workplace because his dad told him to. I'm like, "You're 28." Or but probably much older. I'm 28. He's probably, like, in his 30s, and it's like, "Wait, why? Why are you doing some" like, you're such a one-cell being right now where you're just doing what
He didn't
society.
care. He had told him to do it, so he's doing it, and he didn't, like, give you his opinion on the matter?
No, I could tell he would have wanted someplace different, but he's like, "Oh, well, my dad said it would be a good opportunity and I should do it. It's like blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Okay, that's a weird thing to say as a 30-something-year-old." But then also I don't know, like I can tell okay, here's what it is. I can tell he's living his life not for himself, but for other people. That to me is a type of difficult person that's like sad to deal with.
I think that's because, I mean, maybe I doesn't that hit home as, like, a queer Muslim person?
Probably. I mean, like, if I was straight, I would probably have made choices that aligned more with what my society dictated than what I wanted. But now that I started making choices, or I do make choices that are for my own enjoyment, I cannot even imagine living my life for someone else. Like, doing, like, that to me is such a weird concept. That's a person I don't relate to and I'm unable to, like, be friends with or connect with because I'm always going to be like, and it's not because I don't like them, it's just purely because we don't align on so many things.
I agree. I mean, I think I'm the exact same way, and I think it even go as to far as there's some gay people aren't even like that all the way because some people will come out blah 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 as a rebellion, but then they kind of jump into like the mainstream. They're not gay in their own way. They like jump from like one society to another rather than jump from like one society
For
to like
themselves.
outside of it all to
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah.
Don't jump from one society to another. Jump from one society to yourself.
Yes. Like, for exa I totally know what you're talking about, like, the whole gay culture of, like, you adopt this persona that you think is what being gay is all about, but it's like, is
Yeah.
that what you're all about? Like, you have to
Exactly,
do
it's
what
like
you want to do.
the
Not
person who's like, "Oh, I'm a jock because I have muscles and blah, blah, blah," or the person who's like, "I'm a twink and blah, blah, blah," or like, "I'm more femme, so, like, I have to be like this," like or like, I feel like a lot of, like ethnic men will get like stuck in these categories sometimes.
Yeah.
Like from Asian men being infantilized to like Middle Eastern men being like not like brutalized, but like treated as like, you know, masked dom tops or like black people and like
Yes.
BDL
Yes.
fetishes and like all
Yes.
that shit. So it's just like there's a lot people will try to impose on you of what they think you should be.
Exactly.
So it's really hard to not allow yourself to just like go with it.
Yes, it's like the labels that people put just based on your appearance or where you come from.
If I had a nickel for every time somebody tried to compare me to some fucking type of animal, whether a bear,
Oh my God,
otter,
yeah.
cub, like what is Khalid's body's type is staying on these people's minds?
It's
Am I a
very
fatty?
I think it's so weird when people are categorizing people based on their appearance. Because you might look a certain way and totally be like whatever, like you can be into anything. There's no just because you look some kind of way doesn't mean you're gonna be into something. I don't know. Whatever.
It's
But
all but that's what I mean. That's where my ego comes from because I'm like, wow, thank God I'm not like one of these people.
yeah, yeah, I do think that is a kind of difficult person I don't tolerate. Every other kind of difficult person, be it like irritating, obnoxious, whatever, I tend to ignore. Like I tend to just if I find that you're not pleasing and not like making me feel good, I'm probably just gonna be nice to you, but not like that straight guy, for example. Me and one of my coworkers were like this, and we'd like do everything together. The second he walks into a room, we go quiet, and we
You
just
like can't be having fun because then he'll be like, hey, what's going on? And you'll be like, oh, we
Joe.
just kidding.
He'll literally be like, "Hey, how are you guys? Good. How are you? Good, good. What you guys do this weekend? Nothing much. What about you?" Like literally like that. Like we'll just act like we just don't have a personality.
Did you hear the new Bad Baby song where she's like, "You think I'm dumb enough to tell you anything? I wouldn't tell you what color socks I got," and something like that.
Exactly. Why would I tell you anything? I just don't want you to know my life, and I don't want to know yours. So,
But maybe you should tell him that. Like, I find you
but
unrelatable.
see that's the difference between us. I just don't find it necessary to put that much energy into helping him. Because
No,
you
I
said
wouldn't do that either because it's on a dating app when we're forced to like where I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to like get to know you, let me help you," versus a colleague where it's like we've never clicked from the jump. It's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna stay."
exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that could be the episode. I feel like we've had such a productive conversation about this topic, and I think people will learn. So you all better be studying, taking
Okay.
notes.
Outro music.
Wait, wait, before that, let's
So,
give them a prompt. I know that no one has been commenting on it, but let's still give them a prompt just
see,
in
debuut's
case.
hard. It's gonna be listen, between me and you, this is a slow burn.
Yes. Casey Musgraves Slow Burn, such a good fucking song. Anyway, what do you guys what what do you guys do when you're faced with a difficult person? That's our question.
Yeah, are you like me, the confrontational? Or are you like Ali, the little bitch?
I mean, I'm confrontational too. I can be
Oh, yeah.
confrontational. I think that or rather it's more are you
It takes a lot
direct?
more for you to be confrontational, I feel like. My I'm much more, like, quick to it. Yeah, I'm much
Yes.
more quick to issues,
Yeah.
and I think you're much more quick to work around them, trust,
I'll
like, try
wait.
to, like, sweet talk.
I'll wait. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
wait and see. Yeah, which one are you and what do you do? I do have a media moment as well. I've been listening to Billie Eilish Hit Me Hard and Soft. I heard that album, her most recent one's pretty good.
Yeah, go listen to Bad Baby.
Listen to Bad Baby or listen to Billie.
Honestly, the Bad Baby Alabama Barker beef, like they both of them have released tracks. Bad Baby has won that beef. So just for reference, Alabama Barker is Travis Scott's daughter. So this is the Kardashians are involved.
Oh, wow.
So Alabama Barker is this little white girl from Calabasas who wants to be a rapper and then became friends with Bad Baby and then they had a fallout.
Mm.
And Bad Baby released a diss track, and then Alabama Barker released a diss track, and then Bad Baby came back with 3 other diss tracks and, like, literally put this bitch into the dirt. Like, like, was like, "I am not quitting." Like, I love that. I really respect when someone, like when someone does something to you, like, "You spit at me, I'm gonna spit at you times 10."
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you and Bad Baby would be besties.
I think Alabama Barker fucked Bad Baby's baby daddy, so, like, that's
Oh.
pretty serious. That's really
Bad
okay.
Baby has a baby?
Yeah. I think
Oh,
yeah, she does.
damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
She also had cancer at one point.
Oh, shit. Holy
She's been
shit.
through a lot.
She's literally like a child. How is she
And on Dr. Phil, she has a kid and she
and
had
she has
cancer.
cancer? Oh my god.
And now she has, like, best diss tracks of, like, all time.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Miss Whitman is the best one.
Okay, I'll give that one a whirl. All right, this is our episodes. The what is the title of this episode?
How to deal with difficult people,
Right. Right, right, right.
like, gonna be in the title.
Sweet. And this is the All of People podcast. I'm Ali. And that's Khalil. Thank you guys for listening and see you next week.
Bye, olives. We have to remember we're calling them olives now.
Yeah, our little olives.